Yeah. This is second part. This is second part talking about the city that was end up being destroyed. And in this process, Abraham ended up interceding for Saddam. Like he ended up interceding for Saddam. So I'm gonna get into this. Um, Because I said I was going to put scripture with it. So because I spoke and said I'm put scripture with it, that's what the video is. Just me putting scripture with it. That's it. Because yeah, you can't say something and then don't do it. You got to do what you say and say what you do. Okay, y'all. So this is Genesis 18:16, because this going back into like my vision and what I've been seeing with New Orleans. That's what all of this is just going to. And my other video, I had to go back and look and see what I was saying. But I was speaking on 3 different things from 3 different parts of the Bible. The other video, it's like 40 minutes long, and it's dealing with the Nephilim, because I spoke on the Nephilim. I'm like, dang, I spoke on all this. But so I had to go back and go back to when they start mating and just contaminating the seed, and then with them mating, it created like these species and the hybrid. And I don't think that, like, everything just started becoming evil. So I don't know if the evilness, if them, being created with the hybrid was making them more evil, but it probably was, because they opened them up to a lot of stuff that God was trying to hide from us. And the book of Enoch speak of that. And I thought I was going to actually go into Enoch, but it's in Genesis 6. And then Enoch really break it down. So that's the third part that I got going to Enoch. So I'm going to do that later, because they're going to be through audio, because it's hard to find Enoch. You have to find that through audio or something like that. So this is the second video, and this right here I'm speaking on Abraham and the seed for Saddam, because I was just saying, Abraham and God were talking, and Abraham was like, well, what will you save for 50? Will you save the city if you can find 50 righteous people? And then one way or another, they got the number all the way down to 10. I'm like, it want 50 people in the city? It want 40 people in the city? It want 30 righteous people in this city? It wasn't even 20. Like Abraham negotiating with God. What about 10? Can you save for 10? And I think he stopped at number 10. I'm like, it wasn't even 10? Okay, let me see. Because I'm a little confused, because he interceded for Saddam, and God ended up saying, okay, I saved the city for 10. But then I read the next chapter, and it say, okay, God destroyed the city. So I'm like, okay, what happened? Let me see. So Abraham intercedes for Saddam. Then a man rose from there and looked towards Saddam, and Abraham went with them to send them on their way. And the Lord said, shall I hide from Abraham what I am doing? Since Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. For I have known him, in order that he may command his children and his household after him, that they keep the way of the Lord to do righteousness and justice, then that the Lord may bring to Abraham what he had spoken to him. And the Lord said, because the outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grave, I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the outcry against it that has come to me. And if not, I will know. Then the men turned away from there and went towards Sodom. But Abraham stood before the Lord. And Abraham came near and said, would you also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Suppose there were 50 righteous within the city. Would you also destroy the place and not spare it for the 50 righteous that were in it? Far be it from you to do such a thing as this, to slay the righteous with the wicked, so that the righteous should be as the wicked. Far it be from you. Shall not the judge of the earth do right? So he going up against God, and God is perfect. God cannot have fault. God cannot have error. God cannot have no dirty hands. God's hands gonna stay clean. Regardless of what's going on, God gonna have clean hands in all this. So I look at Abraham. They going for Sodom and Gomorrah. Because I just jumped into this. I'm really trying to see what is going on with this. And they say some men was with him. And so now he's and God saying, "Dog, do I need to even tell Abraham, what's going on, what I'm about to do?" But then I guess God saying that as far as like making him a great nation. Like, should I hide it from him? Should I just let him know what what he gonna be in the nations? But then by this point, I see that he's saying that it's an outcry been going on against the city of Sodom and Gomorrah. You know how I say the wickedness gets so wicked that it reach heaven? So he's saying that the outcry has become so great, he trying to see what's really going on down there. This is what God's saying. So at this point, Abraham is really just using the word of God and knowing what he know about God to just kind of like stand his ground. Excuse me. It's like you go to court. You got to kind of like make your point. Like, even though, it's understood, you still have to sit there and you still have to make it known what your, make your point known. And basically, that's what he's saying. He said, you're going to destroy the righteous and the wicked. Like, how can you be God if you're going to destroy the wicked and the righteous together? Don't you supposed to judge right fairly out here? That's what he telling God. So then it say, so the Lord said, if I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sakes. Then Abraham answered and said, indeed now, I who am but dust and ashes have taken it upon myself to speak to the Lord. Suppose there were 5 less than the 50 righteous. Would you destroy the city for the lack of 5? So now, first Abraham doing all that talk. My God, I know you ain't finna destroy no whole city with your righteous here, and you wouldn't even be God of gods like you say if you doing all that. And now God said, well, okay, 50. You find 50 in the city, I ain't gonna destroy it. Now Abraham like trying to lower the number. He went from 50 to 45 people. He like, would you destroy for 5 less? Like, you saying 50, but what about 45? And then he said, if I find there are 45, I will not destroy the city. And he spoke to him yet again and said, suppose there should be 40 found there. So he said, I would not do it for the sake of 40. Then he said, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak. Suppose 30 should be found there. So he said, I would not do it if I find 30 there. And he said, indeed, now I have taken it upon myself to speak to the Lord. Suppose 20 should be found there. So he said, I would not destroy it for the sake of 20. Then he said, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak but once more. Suppose 10 should be found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for the sake of 10. So the Lord went his way as soon as he had finished speaking with Abraham, and Abraham returned to his place. So, I mean, he was doing all that talk, y'all. And God said, okay, 50. Okay, okay, 50 righteous. I ain't gonna destroy it for 50. By that time, Abraham like, well, I don't want to make you mad, but what about 10? Like, he got a number all the way down to 10. Then God said, okay, I would not destroy it for 10. And so they just went on about their way. Okay, so now it's on chapter 19. Genesis chapter 19. It say, now the 2 angels came to Sodom in the evening, and Lot was sitting at the gate of Sodom. When Lot saw them, he rose to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground, and said, hear now, my lords, please turn in to your servant's house and spend the night and wash your feet. Then you may rise early and go on your way. But they said, no, we will spend the night in the open square. But he insisted strongly, so they turned in to him and entered his house. Then he made a feast and baked unleavened bread, and they ate. So the angels ate. Okay, y'all. You said they ate, didn't it? Yeah, they say angels don't eat, but these angels ate the bread and stuff, didn't it? Okay. Now, before they lay down, the men of the city and the men of Sodom, both old and young, all the people from every quarter surrounded the house, and they called to Lot and said to him, where are the men who came to you tonight? Bring them out to us, that we may know them carnally. So Lot went out to them through the back door, through the doorway, shut the door behind him, and said, Please, my brethren, do not do so wickedly. See now, I have 2 daughters who have not known a man. Please let me bring them out to you, and you may do to them as you wish. Only do nothing to these men, since this is the reason they have come under the shadow of my roof. And they said, Stand back. Then they said, This one came in to stay here, and he keeps acting as a judge. Now we will deal worse with you than with them. So they pressed hard against the man, Lot, and came near to break the door down. But the men reached out their hand, pulled Lot into the house, and with them shut the door. Then they struck the men who were at the doorway of the house with blindness, both small and great. So they became weary trying to find the door. So they said the angels ended up striking these men and blinding them, and end up bringing Lot back in the house. But Lot was like, this man, these 2 angels, well, he was just like these 2 visitors, because they just looking at him like, ooh, who is that? So these people just seen these 2 men walking with Lot and took it upon themselves. We want the men. Whatever, these men that you brought through the city, we want them. And he was like, nah, take my daughters. Do not do no harm to these men, because I invited them to my home. So now, it's hospitable. They like like they put himself in a position where he like got to protect these visitors / angels, because he done invited them to his house. So now he feel like this obligation, like, nah, ain't nothing finna go down under my roof. Not to these visitors, to these guests that came. Ain't nothing finna go on. But that's who they want. He like, you can even take my daughter, but these guests that I invited to my house, he like, there's no way I'm just gonna let anybody cause them any harm while they under my roof. And then I just end up getting so violent toward Lot. They were like, well, we finna harm you and cause you more harm than we was gonna cause them. And then at that point, the angels heard it, and they pulled Lot back in the house, shut the door, and blinded everybody. Okay. Then it say, then the men said to Lot, Have you anyone else here, son-in-law, your sons, your daughters, and whomever you have in the city? Take them out this place, for we will destroy this place, because the outcry against them have grown great before the face of the Lord, and the Lord has sent us to destroy it. So Lot went out and spoke to his sons-in-law who had married his daughters, and said, Get up and get out of this place, for the Lord will destroy this city. But to the sons-in-law he seemed to be joking. When the morning dawned, the angels urged Lot to hurry up, saying, Arise, take your wife and your 2 daughters who are here, lest you be consumed in the punishment of this city. And while he lingered, the men took hold of his wife's hand, and the hand of his 2 daughters, the Lord being merciful to him, and they brought him out and set him outside the city. So it came to pass, when they had brought them outside, that he said, Escape for your life. Do not look behind you, nor stay anywhere in the plain. Escape to the mountains, lest you be destroyed. Then Lot said to them, Please, no, my Lord. Indeed now, your servant hath found favor in your sight, and you have increased your mercy, which you have shown me by saving my life. But I cannot escape to the mountains, lest some evil overtake me and I die. See now, this city is near enough to flee to, and it is a little one. Please let me escape there. Is it not a little one that and my soul shall live? And he said to him, See, I have favored you concerning this thing also, in that I will not overthrow this city for which you have spoken. So he saved that city for him, for the one. But he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. It wasn't no hope for them. Harry, escape here, escape there, for I cannot do anything until you arrive there. Then the name of the city was called Zoar, and the sun had risen upon the earth when Lot entered Zoar. Then the Lord rained brimstone and fire on Sodom and Gomorrah from the Lord out of the heavens. So he overthrew those cities, all the plains, all the inhabitants of the city, and what grew on the earth. But his wife looked back behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. And Abraham went early in the morning and to the place where he had stood before the Lord. Then he looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah, toward all the land of the plain. And he said, Behold, the smoke of the land which went up like the smoke of the furnace. I'm trying to read this, y'all. Okay. And Abraham went early in the morning to the place where he had stood before the Lord. Then he looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah and toward all the land of the plain. And he saw, and behold, the smoke of the land, which went up like the smoke of a furnace. And it came to pass, when God destroyed the cities of the plain, that God remembered Abraham and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities in which Lot had dwelt. So, I'm gonna let y'all go. But basically, God ended up destroying this city, but God told Lot to go. And he was telling him to go to the mountains, but they was like, well, what if an animal or something eat us? Like, let us just go to this small city beside us. But I guess they probably going to even destroy the city that was beside it. But they sent Lot there. And with them sending Lot there, the angels sending Lot there, they saved their city because they didn't destroy their city. But their city was probably part of all of what was going on. I think if Lot and them would have went to the mountains, that city, they would have destroyed that city too. But because Lot said, let us go to this city, it's small, just let us post up here, they let them go, and they spared them for that. And it said God remembered Abraham, because in the beginning God is going back and forth with Abraham about destroying Sodom and Gomorrah. And even though God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, God saved that righteous person, because God told that righteous person to flee. God told the righteous person, well, the person that got the grace through Lot, I don't know if Lot was righteous like Abraham, but there was like Abraham was like his nephew, and it really like a son to him. So he got favor with God just through the bloodline of Abraham. So he might not have been living that life, but he had this favor. And so God still ended up destroying his city, because a lot of people say God was going back and forth with Abraham, which he was going back and forth till he said, okay, 10 righteous. Will you destroy it for 10 righteous? But then at that point, the wickedness was just so wicked, God said, get out that city. So God never ended up saving that city for the righteous. He just told the righteous to get in your safe place. Get in your safe place. That's what he told them. Because the destruction of this city is still going to come. So that's what coming to me now. When I'm talking about New Orleans, the destruction is going to come. Get in your safe place, wherever he tell you to go. And so he didn't save the city. He destroyed the city. Even with them going back and forth, they were just having casual conversation about the back and forth. But when God decided to destroy that city, God did give the righteous, or he did give Lot enough time, Abraham's nephew, he gave him enough time to get out that city. So God is going to give people enough time to get out that city. But when he come with his wrath, get out the way of God's wrath. Get out the way of God's wrath. That's my only word. Get out the way of God's wrath. The destruction coming, just get in your safe place. Because that's what happened with them. That city was not saved because of the righteous, but the righteous had to position themselves, and he had to put himself in a safe place. So that's why I'm getting out this story. Because I'm like, okay, they going back and forth. This me thinking, y'all. I'm like, okay, will you save a whole city for 10 righteous with all the wicked? God destroyed this city. But what he did do was he told the righteous, and he gave righteous time to get to where they need to go and do what they need to do. But he destroyed this city. Because I'm like, okay, something's already telling me that, hey, it's going to be some catastrophic and happen down New Orleans. It's going to cause a lot of flooding down there. Something telling me this. So then what come to me is like the story about down to 10. Will you destroy the city for the 10 righteous? The 10 righteous getting in a safe place. So if he tell you to flee like he told Lot, because then he told Lot to flee, then flee and get away. Because whatever he has assigned and his judgment on that city has already been, he already did it. So my prayer is for, if God put on your heart to relocate, that you relocate. That's my prayer. Relocate. So y'all, I'm gonna let y'all go. But I have been bumping into random people who have actually came from New Orleans. Like I be like, oh hey, and then I hear that. I'm like, where you from? When I hear that New Orleans accent, they be like, yeah, I just been here. Like, well, they countryer than me, so I can't sound like them. They think I'm countryer than them, but they country. They got an accent. They think I got an accent too. I don't know. But I have been bumping into like a lot of people that's like relocating from down, that's migrating from down there actually. And I ain't even paid attention till after I seen the vision about the flood, and then I be out rambling. I just bump into people who been like, yeah, I moved up here 2 years. My sister came up here, and I'm up here with my sister trying to get situated. So it's a lot of people that's moving from down there. It's a lot of people moving from down there, y'all. So that's my prayer, because God is gonna do what He gotta do with that city. God is gonna do what He gotta do with that city. It's nothing that's gonna change His mind about that city. So, and I'm ahead of my time, so I'm outside of time. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but it's already been a decision. Everything already in motion. But if I'm manifesting on earth, I'm sitting back watching. But whatever happened yesterday, I had another vision. Everything was confirmed. Everything was like, whatever you said, that's what it is. It was confirmation. I keep going to God like, God, I need confirmation. I had confirmation yesterday when I woke up. I'm still like, oh God, I need confirmation. But I'm letting you know what was said, y'all. I'm standing 10 toes down on what I'm saying. But I'm still going to God like, break this down. But I'm standing 10 toes down on what I'm saying, even though I want Him to break it down even more. God getting tired of me, y'all. God getting tired of me. Okay, I'm gonna let y'all go. Y'all enjoy y'all day.